Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, brand spanking new network save with myself and Matt. And you can see the title there, Lowend to Legend. Now, you're probably thinking, what does it mean? You might think, yeah, it's obvious what it means. Let me explain. As I said in the previous video, the end of the World King Challenge, we were looking at ideas for a new network game, and I've taken on board a lot of the feedback that you guys gave, which I'm really grateful for. But particularly, there was some feedback that I utilised from Migadonte and Mark Rutgers, as well as my own sort of stuff that I really wanted to partake in. And here we are. We are starting at the basement. We have started in the Conference North. Mark Rutgers played a massive part here because what I've done is I felt that who we're going to start as, I felt that we can't really start as anybody that's got league experience. You know, like Kidderminster, Hereford, Scunthorpe, even though Scunthorpe had the strongest team, but they were in debt. So what I did is I then sort of like did a list of 5 teams that were roughly balanced with each other. I labelled them all 1 to 5. I sent that list to Matt, and then I said to Mark Rutgers, give me a number between 1 and 5. Somebody for Matt, somebody for me. And he picked, and we got our new teams. Matt is the manager of Oxford City. Not Oxford United, don't get confused. Oxford City. And I'm the manager of Warrington. Thanks a lot, Mark, you dickhead. So there are our teams. Now, the ironic thing, right, is they were very, very level. I think we both started with about 30 odd grand, 33,000. We've both got a stadium of about 2,000. I feel that Matt had a slightly better reputation because he could attract some slightly better coaches than what I could. And he had slightly better value on players. But, you know, it's no here or there. It's no here or there. Yesterday, we had a session yesterday. We had one on Saturday as well. We are halfway through Season 1. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm firing this up as a solo game. And we start with Matt. And it's well, there we go. There we go. Where to start with Matt? Where to start with Matt? Well, I think it's a real eye-opener for Matt because this is not what he thought. He's not quite as familiar with the lower leagues, and I suppose in a way you could say some people you either are or you're not. For me, having played CM all my life like a little fucking geek, CM, you know, if you're a CM fanatic, you'll be familiar with both the upper end and the lower end, which must mean, Matt, you are not a CM fanatic. So we've both agreed on the rules, you may recall. The usual tactically, at least 3 at the back, non-whib-bob, and must have 2 wide players. And we also agreed on 10 signings. 10 signings as opposed to 7. And I'll explain to you the rest of the objective in a moment. But the 10 signings to Matt then, he's actually taken 8 and 2 loanees. Now the loanees, Josh Kelly, has actually done really, really well for him. He's done so... Oh, I see, yeah. He's done so well. This is why the loans is a bit flawed, you see. Because according to Josh Kelly over at Wimbledon, he's unhappy, he's not needed, he's trying to force his way, but he's been playing, so it's one of the many flaws in the game. Now he is absolutely fucking brilliant in terms of the look of him, and this just proves that the average rating in defence is just shit. It really is. So let's have a quick gander at Matt's additional players that he's purchased in. As you can see, he's only spent out 20 grand. This is what Matt really needs to grow accustomed to, is the calibre of players that you've got to go for. I think Matt has had he's had a little bit of a meltdown. He had a little bit of a meltdown in terms, and I feel his pain. I really do feel his pain that, you know, when things are going wrong, they go fucking wrong. They really do go wrong. But I've got faith that he'll turn it around. Now, the big difference, as I said about reputation, another thing that indicates he's got a higher reputation than me is his board are expecting promotion. My board are expecting us to battle bravely against relegation, which I thought was bizarre. In terms of players going out, he managed to offload a few players for a bit of money. As you can see, 180, 190. So he did very well there. His money, as you can see, is 557 in the bank, 375 to spend. But he's made all his signings. So when the window opens in January, neither of us can buy players. He has exited in the FA Cup. First round, he got to Peterborough United. He had to get through his qualifying round, which he did. He had a friendly as well. He got through his qualifying run against Bliss Spartans and went out to Peterborough. And you can see there how the session ended yesterday. But we'll get to that in a moment. Over to Warrington. Well, we've started out fucking well. We've had a bit of a blip. We had a bit of a blip. And the formation we're using is... Essentially, it's the middleman that I created ages ago. And I changed it around and I let Annie give me a rename for it. She's played an interest in this, believe it or not, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but she's played an interest and she's called it Razor Wire. She don't even know what the fuck she's talking about, let's be honest. But here we are, Razor Wire is doing us well. So Annie tried to play a part and I was getting a little bit angry because I said every player is out of contract, fucking hell. And I've got this guy here, Peter Clark, and she starts like pretending she knows what she's talking about. Well, you're so ageist. She always calls me ageist and sexist because I slag off women's football. And I went, I'm not ageist, but he's 40 fucking 2. And she goes, well, you should give him a chance. I went, I'll tell you what I'll do then. For her, right, keep her interested. I'll give him a chance. And he hasn't done too bad because defence is shit. But he's 42 and he's fucking off because I've had £100 offer. He's going when the window opens. Now, with our 10 signings, we took no loanees at all. We took, now the first player that came was Joe Quigley on an exchange from Forest Green. Very, very happy with his contribution. Catano tends to go off a lot. Both my wingers seem to struggle in this formation, but I don't really want to be changing it around. Munkana has been fucking awful for me. Adam Smith has not done too bad whatsoever. Jamie Stott has been shit. Elliot Simmons. Coley Hall, he's not done too bad. Dale Carrick's done very well for me. Nate George, well, I renamed him Nate George because the name didn't fit on my fucking tactic screen. And Kyron Kelly, who he realistically is my best player, but he's just not really performed. Again, it's a defence thing. Now, let me show you what our players out has been so fortunate. It really has. This guy here, Mikey O'Neill, he was actually one of my star players, but he wouldn't take a new deal because every cunt in the world needed a new contract. He weren't taking one, so I fucked him off and I got $500,000 for him. I got $500,000 over here for George, Goody, was very, very happy. And I believe we've got a few players going, we've got a few players going over here. And our money is quite healthy, to be honest with you. Now, there you see, 2,000 ground facilities with 350 seated, 2 out of 20 on training ground, adequate. Now, it says adequate, right? But if I show you Matt's, 2 out of 20 need investment. So, facilities is virtually the same, including the ground as well. So, we're both very, very similar. Now, with Matt, let me just have a look at something. Matt has still got to re-look at the contract expiries. I did tell him about it. The only players that don't have a contract are the players that he's purchased. He's got to give new deals. And these guys, I mean, to be honest with you, right, there's less chance of them taking a new deal now. I haven't even sorted out my deals completely because I've got a few that aren't. The 2 loan players that you see there were already there. Matt had a couple already there as well, I believe, and they don't count. So the first round of the FA Cup, we went through in the qualifying, as you can see, and in the first round we were knocked out at Northampton. We both got away trips to League One opposition, and of course, right there, the last game of the session was myself against Matt, and I think this just topped it off for Matt. This really did. But you know what? The very first session we had, he actually had a decent. I think we had 3 sessions actually, haven't we, Matt? Is that right? Yeah, I think we had 3 sessions. I think the first session, he actually had a good session. The first session, I think, might have been Friday we started it, actually. Friday we started the game, we did players and we started a couple of games. Second session was Saturday, third session was yesterday. There's a long way to go. So let me explain to you then what the objective is. And these are part of feedback from here or there. So, the plan is to win the Premier League, believe it or not. Now, that don't necessarily mean we have to win it as our non-league clubs. We can climb through the ranks if we wish, if we get jobs here, there and every fucking where, and win the Premier League. Now, upon winning the Premier League, we then need to move to another country. We need to move to another country, which has been extended, my ad. China is there. Japan is there. Turkey is there. Russia. We've got plenty lit up there. So the plan is to then move to another country, but we can't apply for top flight. We must apply below the top flight in any other country. So it's a very, very, very difficult challenge ahead. Right, okay. It's a very difficult challenge ahead because, you know, it's going to be so difficult to pick up a team. This is another reason why we said 10 transfers, you see. So, but obviously, if you can, and I took this tip from Miga Dante. You know, because if you can get a job at a higher rep club to help you climb the ladder, then yeah, that counts. So fingers crossed. And we've started in the non-league. Now, let me remind you, with those selected leagues, I've only put non-league for England because that's what's going to be the hardest starting out. So, but everywhere else. Now, there's a couple of countries here, of course. The United States, they only have one league, don't they? So, you know, it doesn't apply on going to the second tier or below. Russia, let's have a look. So Argentina only have, actually, no, I've got that wrong, didn't I? Argentina, Argentina do have a second division. So Matt, that's one for us there. They do have a second division, there you see. So, Argentina is part of it. Let's have a look. I think Australia, we know Australia's only got the one. Belgium, they've got low leagues. Brazil have got Serie B, Serie C. Very, very important. China only have the one league. I thought China might be the one. England, France, we know. Germany, Greece, Italy. Japan do have a second league. I've never played in Japan or China in my life. The Netherlands, Russia have one. Turkey do, and we know United States don't. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's very exciting. I'd say it's very exciting, and it's easy for me to say it's very exciting because I've not had the bad run Matt's had. I think Matt's had, he's had a really, really difficult run. But we move on. The top three get promoted. Now, I'm sure Matt already knows this, but if you finish in the bottom three of the lowest playable league that you've got running, you instantly get the sack. That's if you don't get the sack before that anyway, but Matt, I'm sure you know that. Now, Matt asked me, what if he gets the sack? Does he add himself back in? I went, absolutely not. You know, for a simple reason, otherwise it would fuck our ages up, wouldn't it? Essentially. It just would fuck the game up. So if he were to get sacked, if I were to get sacked, we have to apply. We have to stay unemployed and get a new job. You know, he's 3 points clear of the relegation. Even Chester have got a game in hand. So if Chester were to win that game in hand, well, they'd still be level. Let's take a look at the job information. He's not on that list. I'm sure he's been keeping an eye on it. I have. In terms of the managerial stats, oh, wow. When I last looked at this, I wasn't poor. We were both unknown. We were both in that bottom. We were both in the bottom five as unknown. So actually, do you know what I did? I don't know if you saw that, Matt. Wow. So we've gone from very poor to poor. Very happy with that. Do you know what? And with that in mind, right? With that in mind, I'm looking at Wrexham. There. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. So we're looking good, and that's it then. From the low end to the legend. The low end being at the bottom and becoming a legend. And let's be honest, right? I don't know how much this, how far this will go, because I think maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew. I think we're going to be in here for the real fucking long haul. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you just think to yourself, right, I think, did I say we've got about 18 leagues? Let's just count. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 leagues. Do you know what I mean? It's, yeah, I suppose I could have put the secondary leagues in there, couldn't I? The non-leagues, but it just would have made the game go a bit slower. You know, I feel that maybe this is the right thing to do the way we've done it. I really do. But obviously, the leagues that have only got one nation, one playable division, that's still part of the agenda. So that's when we bring a bit of the world tour back into it. But to be a legend, you've got to go around the world. And we've gone around with this, the China and the Japan, to add a little bit of non-European action. Last time when we played the World King, none of us have ever played in the Australian League before, and we've learnt a bit from that. Here we are. Let me remind you that we are using the most recent update, which is the October 24 update, Nix Patcher 2.30, and we have lift off. Part 1 is concluded, so let's start from me, guys. Take it easy.